Welcome to the Missouri Society of Health and Physical Educators President-elect Virtual Town Hall. I am Guy Danhoff, and I'll be serving as moderator of tonight's Town Hall. We are very blessed is that we're going to be getting a chance to know and hear from our two President-elect candidates. One will be Anna Forcelledo, who is a physical educator at Rockwood South Middle School, as well as Jodie Leiss, who is an assistant professor who teaches health education and physical education at Northwest Missouri State University. Now, to let you know how we're going to run our town hall, it's going to be pretty simple. Our candidates are be given each 5 minutes to make some introductory remarks, and in those introductory remarks, they will establish a brief background, they will talk to their qualifications, and even why they're running for the MOSHAPE President-elect position. After that, I have been given by the MOSHAPE Board of Directors, specifically the Executive Council, some questions that have been given to me in advance that our candidates have been given. And then at the very end, we may take a question or two from the panel or the audience. So with that, this is kind of the structure of what we're gonna do for our town hall tonight. And with that, Anna, I'll go ahead and start with you, so you can open us up, and if you'd like, give us a brief 5-minute, kind of brief intro about yourself.
Absolutely, and thank you guys so much for asking that question. I'm happy to answer it. But I first want to just take a moment and say thank you to everyone who took the time tonight to join us on the call. All of the board of director members, past presidents, current president, Tom Lowry, Stocha, thank you so much. And everyone else who is here tonight for this event. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It just is an example of what our MOSHAPE family is, and just a testament of the fact that we really are one. So it means a lot. So thank you. I teach middle school physical education. I teach 7th grade specifically right now. It is my 14th year teaching. I have been a teacher this entire time. I was also a personal trainer for a few years. I love, love, love what I do, and I feel very honored to do that every single day. When we are talking about what it means to be a leader and to be a visionary, Webster Dictionary defines it as thinking about planning for the future with imagination and wisdom. And I feel that I have so much of that in me, and I've utilize that, and I've demonstrated that specifically over the past 8 months with all of my involvement in Zagging 101, in MOSHAPE, with being a committee member for Health Moves Minds. And wonderful shout out to Christy Berry, who's our state representative on our call tonight. So thank you, Christy, my SEAL Team 6 member. Love you. So thank you for being here. But with President-elect for MOSHAPE, that leader has to be passionate about the work that it lies ahead. And we are in critical times right now. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and we have to be willing to shift and pivot in just a moment's notice. And I've been in those trenches of leading and supporting and guiding MOSHAPE members throughout this entire time, this entire unprecedented time of COVID-19. The former ways of MOSHAPE have changed, of leading MOSHAPE has changed, and they're continuing to change. And we have to be willing to go with that. But instead of just changing, we must develop that vision that can sustain our mission, values, and members. And something as having an excellent background in PE gives me that insight from a professional practice. But it's also my passion that I've shown via continuous presence on social media, incorporating our ideas into action in my school, as well as countless other districts all across the state, while collaborating with other professionals in our field in order to bring MOSHAPE to the next level. I started to join the Health Moves Minds Committee in February of this year, and my involvement with them has allowed me to use my organizational skills to initiate such events like Chakra Walk, which was such a, I pause when I think of words to describe this event, because it was so powerful and something that was never been done before. So it just had such a tremendous impact on our state association and our entire country as a profession. I was then linking arms. That opened up this opportunity to link arms with Missouri Healthy Schools and sit on the planning committee for strategic planning committee for Stay at Home Recess with Speaker Spot and Tasty Tuesdays with Guy Danhoff and Laura Beckman. And that allows me to connect. And I have this ability to connect and to collaborate with people across the state in order to make things happen. So this skill allows me to bring guests onto Zagging 101 from my network of HPE and professionals and experts, and including myself, as I was asked to be a guest on Zagging 101 for one of the key stars, highlighting the importance of hashtags and how that creates impact in my experience of that, specifically to Chalk Your Walk. I am now so looking forward and honored to be one of the moderators for our upcoming virtual convention sessions, which is on November 12th. Woo! Don't want to get that wrong. With our past four Shape America past presidents of Judy LoBianco, Jamie Sparks, Brett Fuller, and Terry Drain, and also with facilitators of Guy Danhoff and our executive director, Tom Lowry. I'm so looking forward to co-moderating that with Sean Nevels. And it's because of the ability that I've connected with all these people and formed relationships with them that I've been asked to be a moderator for this event. And I cannot explain my honor that I have to be able to do this. We will be discussing, one of the top three things we'll be discussing is the importance of future professionals and the future of that. And we have to be willing to, as president-elect, we have to be looking at what their needs are and what also the needs of our young professionals are, because they're two distinct differences. So we really need to make sure that we're addressing both of those issues, but also looking at the needs for across the state and looking how we can address all of the issues for all of our members. I believe wholeheartedly in our profession, and I fully believe in advocating for it daily. As our president, Dennis Doshef, said, advocacy, do it daily. And I you for the opportunity for me to serve our members and to serve our board and to continue to believe in the future and direction of our profession. So thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much for that. And Jodie, we'd like to now give you the opportunity to make your introductory remarks. And with that, this is Jodie Leiss.
Hello, everyone. And I echo Anna, what she said. I'm just so grateful that you're all here, and years of wisdom here, past and present presidents. And I just love Anna's energy. She is so enthusiastic, and I'm like, yes, that's what I want my students, my future physical educators and health educators to be like, just filled with that kind of passion. I am also passionate for this profession. I've only been in Missouri for about 4 years, about 4.5 years. I come from Kansas, so what I would bring to the table is experience. I have been a president of CAFERD in the past, and so I kind of know how that part goes. This is all new with COVID and going online. I think some of the greatest things have come out of COVID have been the things that Anna has mentioned, that MOSHAPE has been doing since March with Chalk Your Walk. That when that first happened, we just had neighbors move in and they were in our grove of trees. So I took my chalk out there and my bubbles for them. So I didn't have any chalk to go out and participate, but it did really make my heart grow just to see how that took off across the nation. So I have experience in my experience, I have talked with legislators. I have talked with the state school board. Teaching in higher ed, we have to advocate to our teacher ed departments, because a lot of times they think physical education, health education, we're just gym teachers. So we do a lot of advocating there. And we also have to, I'm blessed to teach classes with future classroom teachers. I did that also when I taught at Emporia State. I love those classroom teachers because a lot of times they don't want to take this physical education. They say, I don't know why I have to take this class. And by the end of the semester, they say, I see why it is so important, and I want my future students to be physically active, to be healthy, because we talk about the 6 risk factors as identified by the CDC, as well as physical education and physical activity. So I do a lot of advocating, maybe not on social media per se, but in in the lines of my profession as a assistant professor. I also bring with me, I've been told that I am a transformational leader. So with that, I like to focus in on the positive. What can we do? What can we focus in that is positive within our organization? Love our members. I know that there are members doing amazing things across the state. So why not highlight that? Why do we only highlight the teachers of the year who are great at a convention once a year? Why not throughout the year? And as Anna said, the young professionals, we need to engage them, and we also need to engage those future professionals at all our universities because they are our future also. So we need to start paying more attention to them. I guess that's about me, all I bring to the table. So thank you.
Thank you, Jodie. Thank you both for those warm, welcoming remarks. And just so that you guys know that are certainly watching the replay of this, you can actually learn more about our candidates simply by going to our Facebook page, going to our Twitter, or even to our website, which I had the chance to do MOSHAPE minutes with each of them. Those go for about 16 to 18 minutes, but you can learn even more about these two wonderful candidates and leaders. Okay, so Jodie, we're gonna come back to you. We're gonna ask you, you mentioned this, and so did Anna. We know that we're in COVID, and we know to say that this has been an unprecedented time would be a cliche that's been used like way too much, right? We'd all agree to that. However, it is our reality. And here's your first question. In your opinion, what is the single most glaring issue in the HPE today, and how might MOSHAPE address it?
I think to continue to help our teachers who are out in the field, they are doing their best to figure out how to teach remotely or face-to-face while social distancing their students. I know even teaching my students with a mask, it is very draining and tiring to try to project your voice through that, to make sure even college students don't like to social distance. They want to be near one another. So to be out in the field, hearing stories from teachers now, they're tired. So how can we support them mentally, emotionally, socially? This is hard that we don't get to be together all in one room right now. I know that some have said they miss the hugs when we get together. They're going to miss that at the convention. Yeah, the hugs, talking with one another face to face. So how can we, support those teachers? I love when Tom and Dennis would both come on with their encouraging words. We need to continue to do things like that. Just encourage the teachers that are out there, encourage the future professionals, those young professionals. Can you imagine what those first-year teachers are going through this year? It's hard, but they're getting it done because they love the profession. They have a passion for students and a passion for teaching. So I think we need to support them the best that we can.
Yeah, thank you. And Anna, we're gonna ask you the exact same question. In your opinion, what is the single most glaring issue in HPE today, and how might MOSHAPE address it?
Thank you guys so much. And I want to tap on what Jodie said real quick. Jodie, I got 5 hugs the other day, and I can't tell you, I was so excited.
They mean everything.
Hugger, right? So someone that's a hugger, it's just fills that social emotional bond that you're just like, oh man, you just feel so much better. And it's such a powerful thing. Physical touch is so powerful. So I had to say something because I love that you said that. I think we're both huggers. But I think there needs to be, I'm glad that you said, Guy, the glaring issue right now, because I do feel like there needs to be a distinct difference between the needs for our HPE profession pre-COVID and what's doing right now. And if there was one thing during COVID, it would definitely be the mental health of our teachers and mental health of our students, mental health of our families. And I touched briefly on this during the MOSHAPE Minute on Friday, but it's such a relevant time right now. And it's, when I think about what we're going through, being there in teaching virtually, I teach virtually. So doing that day in and day out and hearing, you know, the needs from the teachers in my building and teachers social listening to the needs of our teachers online on Twitter, you know, it is definitely draining, as Jodie had touched on. So, you know, I am already I'm very connected with these things, and we've been utilizing these resources that have allowed us to help teachers, because they also want resources. But, you know, Dr. Carla Weiss, the Missouri PTA president-elect, she has been helping Missouri Healthy Schools. And two of the things that she had touched base on was the fact that screen time and the need for physical activity with families. And, you know, I'm involved with Missouri Healthy Schools, and I am brought on by Laura Beckman and yourself to be part of the strategic planning committee. And that connection already allows me to continue to build a relationship with them, because we need to tap into our resources that we have in the collaboration with those people inside our state, but also outside of our state. You know, Tony Robbins talks about how it's not necessarily the resources, but the resourcefulness that ultimately makes the difference. And so we need to use those resources and take action by reaching out to Missouri PTA, the NEA, the MSTA, and we need to branch out and see what they can do in order to help provide resources for us and make an impact. You know, but with our mental health, another piece was the Mo Health Media, and Dr. Lauren Schwartz, she is a neuropsychologist, and she discusses the adult mental well-being of people between the ages of 18 and 30. And during COVID, it has gone up, it has quadrupled from 8% to 30%. And that is just alarming. And we've got to do something to take care of our teachers and take care of our students and our families. So that is something that I really feel needs to be addressed. And by providing these resources that help people navigate through these times. One final example would be the fact that we have Health Moves Minds with us. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs these skills that Health Moves Minds has. It gives not only students, but teachers and people in our family members and community members, that helps them and gives them these skills that navigate through what's going on today in their day-to-day life and help tap into their emotions. And so they can deal with that. And then, you know, step into a healthy place, something as powerful as a mindful minute or better breathing exercises. Those are powerful skills that anybody and everybody can learn from. So I think that we need to continue to have these resources and build them, like, in order to provide for them, so that our teachers know that we're there for them and that we are there to help them and take care of them.
Well, thank you very much, you know, for that response. And Anna and Jodie, you're both correct. I mean, the social emotional well-being has become a hotter and hotter topic. And I actually was able to do that interview that you actually referenced and got a chance to hear those numbers firsthand, as that is a big initiative that certainly Missouri Healthy Schools is certainly, you know, right now trying to create more solutions for. So with that, Anna, we'll stay with you on this next question. As you know, our president, Dr. Dennis Dochev, has made his theme very apparent. He's been slamming it since day one. I've been tweeting it. Tom's been retweeting it. Jen Handler has been looking for it on Facebook. And I know Brad Brummel, he's just been liking it. So with that, we know this year our theme is advocacy, do it daily. Anna, as president, how might you enhance advocacy in HPE?
Guy, you stole my opening remarks. You know, it's like you're reading my brain, and this is just not okay. So, I mean, I will have to pivot, but I'm just going to keep it in there because it flows. I mean, advocacy is constant. It is constant action, and we have to do it daily. I mean, our president, Dr. Dennis Dochev, you hit the nail on the head with that. And it's, especially in a time like right now, we have to be living, breathing, walking advocates of our profession, whether it be to how we take care of ourselves, because our kids notice everything about what we're doing to what we are promoting on social media or how we are collaborating with other people in our state in order to make sure that we are writing our Congress people or participating in events like Speak Out Day that went trending this past year on Twitter. And that is phenomenal to think of, but that we were making so much of the impact, but we have to continue to do things like that to advocate. And, you know, Dennis, you have your actions, your words, and everything that you have done and your story that you've shared via your stories on Facebook or with between us on our ZAG family on Zagging 101, which I have loved. You just inspired me and so many other people in our HP community, and thank you so much for that. And Tom Lowry, you have done the exact same, and it's so timely how he says things, how you say things, and it's quite wonderful. But I think that, you know, through Health Moves Minds, I have to talk about Health Moves Minds, because what we did when we were strategizing about how we were going to make an impact was we needed to look at our influencers, and we needed to strategize with what those influencers could do as far as helping something like Health Moves Minds grow. And when we thought about this, you know, our relationship with Shape America past president, Jamie Sparks, helped us leverage our influence in social media, specifically with Chalk Your Walk. And as that impacted 44 states and 3 other countries. I still get goosebumps thinking about that. And Christy Berry, I know you still get goosebumps thinking about that as well. It just, man, it changed the trajectory. That one event changed the trajectory of our entire organization and how we serve our members. And we have become more than a convention-driven organization. And that is something that is truly pivotal. You know, and to keep this more relevant, though, about utilizing influencers, just yesterday, if you saw this or not, you know, St. Louis Dispatch reported that Governor Mike Parsons plans to use social media influencers to promote coronavirus safety across the state of Missouri. And how amazing is it? How awesome is it that we have led the way by example of that? And we've done that through our impact with Zagging 101, in which I've been on the planning committee for that. And it's been a truly life-changing experience. We created a response to a need, and this helped people across social media. We launched the top 10 best practices of social media, and the first one was to help grow our influencers in influence and advocacy and impact. And, you know, I have been a part of this creative team, and I've been at the forefront of educating our leaders and administrators to use this one tactic as far as many others. And as president, I understand the importance of leveraging our influencers in order to make an impact across our state and across our country. And I'll close with this one thing, and just to know that if COVID has taught us anything, is that we cannot sit on the sidelines anymore. We have to act now. We have to get off the sidelines. And if we don't advocate now, we are going to miss advocating. We are going to miss this opportunity. And what I love is that our profession has used this as an opportunity. Instead of using it as an excuse, we have used it as an opportunity, and we have created such impact to move that needle and to demonstrating the importance of social emotional learning and how that embedded into health and physical education in order to become the cornerstone of education. And as we continue to shift again, we have to be ready to continue to advocate daily for that.
Thank you, Anna. Yeah, obviously, we all know the impact of Chalk Your Walk. I've said it on both your interviews. It certainly has changed our trajectory in that we are no longer just focused on our convention any longer. So Jodie, we'll ask you the same question. As president, how might you enhance advocacy in HPE?
I wholeheartedly agree with everything Anna said. What I would add is not to forget, because as we're on social media, we're with our influencers, we're talking about all the great qualities of quality health, physical education and quality health education. We cannot forget those people that we interact with on a daily basis. The people that we meet at the local Hy-Vee, the people that we work with, the people that we go to church with on Sunday, anyone that we interact with should see us as a good role model. Why are you running that half marathon? Well, let's talk about that. Why are you doing this? Why are you not eating candy? I know, I'm sorry, Mr. President. And again, we cannot forget those people that were near, because look at all these great people that are here just tonight. These are influencers. You can influence every person that's in your life, teach them about quality health and physical education, and teach them why we're not called gym teachers. Somebody asked me if I taught dodgeball. Oh, that did not make me happy. So, but instead of getting upset, it was an opportunity to educate and advocate for our profession. And I hope that I never have to do it like our beloved president in a hospital with the t-shirt having that conversation. But I'm so proud of him for doing that.
Yeah, Jody, absolutely. I'm going to be honest with you. What our president did to really just illustrate advocacy, I mean, what an example. I remember when he first told me this story, and I just was in shock. And we're definitely going to replay that footage. We'll put that out tomorrow. I think everyone needs to see that again. It's that good. Dennis, I actually would like you to jump on just briefly, because I'd like you to set up the next question I'm going to ask. And it has to do with the fact that, 2020 marks the year that you made a very bold move. And that was that you decided to form a task force on equity, diversity, and inclusion. And I was wondering if you could just share with us a little bit about that vision, and then I'll get into my next question for our candidates.
A little about the vision?
Yeah, behind wanting to create this task force, and then where you see it going in the future.
Okay, just a couple of things, because I don't want to take away from our candidates. All you got to do is go to one of our conferences and look around, and we're pretty lily white. Some people don't like to hear that, but that's the reality. And Tom can tell you stories of getting phone calls from groups who are upset with the way people have been treated in the past or haven't been accepted in the past. And if anything, physical educators should be the ones who identify with all people. I mean, one of our most important jobs is to teach non-movers. Most of us who go into physical education are movers. So there we are. There's a difference between movers and non-movers. Yet we go across the bridge to do whatever we can to encourage them. Well, we're all different in all different kinds of ways. And everybody has worth. And we need more people generally, but we need a variety of people in our group. I remember sitting at that meeting and Tom sharing the stories of getting a phone call of people not being treated well. That's just wrong. That was not wrong because of what happened this summer. It's been wrong for years and years. So we'd have to do the right thing. But where I see it going is a task force, in my mind, studies an issue and comes up with recommendations for the organization. My hope is the task force becomes a standing committee, because you can't do equity, diversity, and inclusion in 9 months. It's not a one-year thing. It's an ongoing thing. And I think we have to promote it, but then we have to live it and act it. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but
no, Dennis, that was actually perfect. And the reason being is, when I asked this question, I just wanted to make sure every member of MOSHAPE understands what took place earlier this year when you created that task force. Now I'll turn the questions over to our candidates. Jody, we'll start with you. And this is our final question that I'm going to ask you for this town hall. And here it is. As president, what might we do to enhance our diversity in MOSHAPE?
Well, a very wise man who is on this panel, came and shared at Northwest amongst a lily white group. And I asked what we could do to help. And he said, listen. Sorry, this is close to my heart. You ever want to turn the camera off for just a second? So I think we need to listen to the stories. It's hard to hear those stories when our friends are not being treated with respect and dignity. So we need to listen to them. We need to find some solutions so that this does not happen. And you're correct, Dennis, this should be a committee that is on forever. I don't see this issue going away because people are people. So let's address it and let's listen to those stories and make a change.
Yeah, thank you, Jodie. Thank you very much. And Anna, we'll wrap up with you on this question. Again, as president, what might we do to enhance diversity in MOSHAPE moving forward?
Well, Jodie did such a wonderful job. Jodie, I have to echo what you said about listening. And I actually have a feeling that we may be thinking of the same individual right now. But so I empathize with with your feelings right now. I do. So thank you for being vulnerable and sharing some of that. He is a wonderful individual, and I'm very grateful for our friendship. And so Sean, I'm just gonna say, like, I'm truly grateful for you and our very long-term friendship that we've had, and I thank you for sharing everything that you shared that back in, I believe it was April, when we had our conversation that evening. So, and it just goes to show that, you know, when we are addressing diversity, we have to think bigger picture, but we have to think of our people, of our MOSHAPE people, and of everyone. You know, it's not just about race. It is not just about black and white. It is about morals. It's about character. It is about values. It is about a culture that we have the opportunity to create within our MOSHAPE family, within our MOSHAPE community. And it's our responsibility to make sure that we're taking care of each other. And I will say that is one thing that's one thing I love about our MOSHAPE community, is that I feel like we genuinely care for each other's well-being, and we are here to help each other and support each other. So and to know that there's a bigger picture, but there's still always more work to do. You know, it is a default of mine to make sure for everyone to feel included, and it comes from growing up never being included in anything. So I was the one that was left out all of the time, and I just always felt left out and was never invited to be a part of anything. So so it's my default to always make sure that everyone feels included, no matter what. I did multiple conversations with Christy Berry as we were planning things and making sure that everyone is a part of what we're doing, and everyone is feeling included. It's my default. I felt like it's just something I have to do. And you know, in June, we had a Health Moves Minds webinar with Sean Nevels and Christy Berry and Kyle Savo and Terry Gardner. And it was addressing Health Moves Minds and looking at it through a social emotional learning lens. And I have a new assistant principal that is also an African-American woman. And she was, this woman is fantastic. Her name is Cassandra Suggs. And she, I wanted her to feel welcome, and I knew her background already, and it just brings so much life and energy to what she does, and it's just an enigmatic individual. She's an amazing person. So I invited her on to the webinar to take part, and she circled back to me the other day and just said, you know, thank you so much for taking the time to invite me onto that webinar. It was something that I cherish and I truly value, and you know, you just made me feel welcome and included, and you saw it as an opportunity to improve the diversity and culture of our school and our community and of your profession. And I am a part of that EDI task force. So I don't take these things lightly, that we need to do more and that we need to look at what it means to be a more diverse association. And I think part of that is we have to start asking better questions, and we want to have better answers. So as we are creating solutions for this, and it's not, we're just getting into this task force and we've had a few different meetings and it's been really powerful, but how do we represent everybody in our state? Anywhere from not just parts of our state, but how do we become a society that represents everybody across our state, and our membership needs to represent that in Missouri.
Yeah, Anna, thank you so much for that response. And I'm just so happy that, the dead Dennis, our president, was so bold earlier this year and wanted to start this. And ladies, both of your answers are just nothing but heartfelt, authentic, transparent, and real. And this time what I'd like to do is let Tom come on and actually explain how the voting will go and any other remarks. And then Dennis, I'll turn the microphone over to you. So Tom, if you could come on and explain to everyone now how voting goes.
Thanks, Guy, and especially thanks to Anna and Jodie. You both spoke from your heart. You both have wonderful experience. And I just want to make a couple of comments about this third question that deals with equity, diversity, inclusion. Each of us has to focus on who we are before we can interact positively with others. A writer who is much smarter than I once said the problem with humans is that we feel we must understand people before we accept them, and where in truth we should accept the people and then come to an understanding of who they are. A second author had 3 things that are the hardest things for humans to do. Number 1, return love for hate. Number 2, accept the unaccepted. And third, admit that we are wrong. We have decided as MOSHAPE that we have not done nearly enough proactively over the years to make our entire state professionals feel welcome and valued. And I have been working behind the scenes with a few key leaders, and let's put it out there. Sean Nevels is a spectacular young professional he's heard me say this before, he has an upside that most of us will never, ever think of or achieve. But all of us have to listen. We have to decide that everyone is valued and everyone has dignity. And in my teaching time, when we focused on self-development, first thing you have to do is have self-awareness. So you have to look in the mirror. You have to find out who you are. And then once you find out who you are, then you have self-respect. And then you are at the stage where you can communicate with, you can work with, you can honor, you can value everyone, even if they're people that you do not agree with. And people that maybe don't have a lot of redeeming value in our mind. But this is, I don't want to go on and on because I get carried away with this, just like Jodie and Anna. But it's very, very important.
It's our passion. We just shine.
Central theme. And so basically, I'll just go back over this again. Beginning on Friday, November 6th at 12 o'clock, we begin our voting. A message will be sent. We will do this through MemberClick's email, and those that don't, read email. And remember, email is our official communication. So we send it out so that all members receive that. We will also send that out. We will send a link, just like a SurveyMonkey link. And you will click on that link and you will have two choices. It'll be one item. You vote for Anna Forcelledo or you vote for Dr. Jodie Leiss. It'll take you all of 5 seconds to do. And we want to make sure that we have a good turnout. I believe last year, Dennis, it seemed like we had between 200 and 300 members, over 300 members who actually voted online. And this gives people who did not attend our convention the opportunity to vote. The voting window will be Friday noon, November 6th, to Saturday noon, November 14th. At that time, it shuts off automatically. Dr. Britt Johnson, a past president, will send me a little text and it'll just say the result is this. And then Dennis will announce that at the award ceremony on Sunday, the 15th. So that's a process that's going to be simple. Be looking for that message. We'll put it out in the week, probably on the Monday before we start the voting, the 2nd, which is coming up very, very soon. And this way we'll get the process underway. We hope that all of you take part in this, and thank you very much for taking part in this town hall meeting tonight. It's inspiring to hear two quality people. And this is just an example of the wealth of talent that we have, and we want to include a lot more. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. And now I'd like to shift this over to our president, Dr. Dochev. And Dr. Dochev, would you like to maybe just give a few parting words?
A few parting words. Ta-ta. No. Sure. I would say that I have said this many times in many circumstances. The best part or greatest benefit of volunteering or serving is getting to know the people that you serve with.
Yep.
And I think if you listen to both of our candidates, they would both agree with that. But they're both examples of the kind of people you just want to spend time with. Look across your screen. All those people, every single person, even the people that we can't see their faces, we just see their names, are the people that we enjoy working with. That's the best part of serving. And so as both candidates prepares to go into this, I don't need to say this, but I will. Don't miss the special moments with people. When you're the president, I don't have to do it as much because we're not doing our face-to-face convention. You're going 100 miles an hour. You've got more things to do than you can do by yourself. And you can't take advantage of those moments. So hopefully when you're the president, we'll be out of this pandemic. Don't get so caught up in the convention that you miss out on the people that you're running by to go do what somebody else was supposed to do for you. And to everybody else who's here, just thanks for your interest. And I'm assuming that people will be able to see this at a later time, the recording. So those of us who are on the screen, on the meeting now, need to encourage other people to get to know our candidates. Two great candidates. That's all I've got. Everybody stay safe.
Thank you, Dennis. And to kind of wrap things up, guys, I just want to do something just in the moment. If you guys could just unmute yourselves, let's show the candidates our appreciation by giving them a round of applause because they did an unbelievable job tonight.
Imagine being Zach Wheeler and being so lucky to work with a group of people like this.
Luck does not describe my job. It's fantastic.
All right.
Too much to explain.
So with that, guys, the replays obviously is going to be available in a day. We're going to put that out. We're going to keep pushing it out so people can see this. Again, get a chance to know these two candidates, these two amazing candidates. Jodie, again, I want to thank you so much. It was such a blessing spending time with you. on
Thanks.
Friday, and of course, again tonight here at the town hall. And the same thing. Had a great time with you on Friday as well as again tonight. All I can say is, guys,
Thank
we
you.
are so blessed that we have two amazing candidates to continue what we've been doing since COVID hit. And this state has done nothing short of showing our advocacy in all the adversity. And Christy Berry, I think you had it right when you talked about our MOSHAPE masks and what it says on it. What's it say on it?
Adapt and overcome.
Adapt and overcome. That's exactly right. I can't wait till I get my mask and we can mask up for our virtual convention. And with that, guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to this special edition town hall. And again, we want to thank you so much to our candidates for an amazing evening. With that, we'll see you guys at our virtual convention coming up starting on November 12th. And then as Tom said, you'll be seeing all kinds of cool stuff of emails regarding how to vote for our candidates. And with that, we want to say good night.
Everybody take care.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
See you guys.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming.